Hey, migraine yogis, it's Adrienne with Yoga for Migraine, and I went to an anatomy and physiology training all weekend as part of my yoga teacher training program. 20 hours of learning all about the body and how it relates to healing and yoga. But I wanted to learn a lot, but wanted to kind of share three things that really stuck out with me from the weekend that I think were illuminating in the lens of headache and migraine. The first is how our neck relates to migraine, and neck pain is just almost always goes along with migraine for a lot of people and headaches. It's hard to tell if one causes the other or they just go together. But often I'll feel if my neck's hurting, that's like a precursor to a migraine coming, or I'm starting to get sensitive to migraine. And my neck pain is always on the same side as where I get my migraines, which is on the left. So it's all very interesting, but some things that stuck out with me, we had a training with a chiropractor who taught us all about the spine and the neck. She described as the headquarters of the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's our rest and digest system, which is what we want to bring down our fight or flight arousal and response and calm us down. So there's just so many nerves, obviously, that come from your brain down through the neck and down into your spine. So that was interesting to me, that the way that we can start calming down is through relaxing the neck. And that is often one of the first things that will get tense on us. The number one easiest way to calm yourself down and to stimulate the parasympathetic response is to make your exhales longer than your inhales. So if I'm inhaling for 3, then I'm exhaling for 6. And that doesn't take any fancy breathing. It doesn't have to even be double inhale to exhale. Maybe eventually, but as long as you're starting to make those exhales longer, you're going to start settling your system and returning to a calmer nervous system. Along with neck pain, I wanted to talk about sleep, and something that I never really thought that much about, your sleep position and how that can affect your neck and thus your headache and migraine. I tend to be a belly sleeper, which apparently is like one of the worst positions for sleeping in terms of your neck and health, because if you're laying on your belly, your neck is twisted all the way in one direction for possibly hours on end. So that makes sense that you would wake up with a sore neck because of that. So the teacher talked about back sleeping as the safest, best way to sleep. And some people, it's just hard to fall asleep in that position, like feeling stiff. So side sleeping is okay too, as long as your pillow allows your nose to be in line with your spine. So if you're laying down and you got like these massive pillows and your nose is up here, it's not going to be in line with your spine. So you want something flat enough where you're laying down and your spine and nose are in a line. So I've been working on that the last couple nights to make sure that I'm not just inadvertently tweaking my neck all night and making my head more sensitive. The last thing that I wanted to share is something that I just ordered, and I'll give you a review later, but the chiropractor recommended this device called the Still Point Inducer. So I'll write it in right here. And I just got it on Amazon for less than $20, and it was created by the man Upledger, who created craniosacral therapy. In case you've never heard of that, is a very gentle massage technique to bring your cerebral spinal fluid into a more balanced rhythm. It's very, very gentle. I have tried it a couple times with my migraine, but I actually just felt like it was almost too gentle for what I was having in my neck and migraine. But this Still Point Inducer goes at the back of your skull and apparently hits just the right spot to induce like incredible relaxation and feel good release in your system, and thus also helps to relieve headache, migraine, and neck pain. So I will let you know my device. It's just like this little piece of plastic. It's nothing fancy. Will be coming later this week, and I'll test it out and let you know. But yeah, that sounded kind of intriguing. So that was some of the main takeaways. It's just all about, especially with migraine, bringing down our nervous system arousal. We have a very sensitive nervous system, so people with migraine get hyper aroused so easily, right? That's what all the triggers are about. You're triggered by light, by smell. It's creating this threat response in our brain to something that perhaps truly is not so threatening, but our systems are just sensitive. So the more that we can counteract that with parasympathetic deregulation, where we calm our nervous system and release calming hormones rather than cortisol and adrenaline, I think the more that we are going to be more resilient to triggers, but also when we do feel a trigger, it may be we get a headache, but maybe it doesn't go all the way to migraine. So I'm all about trying to, in our yoga practices, calm this nervous system, bring on that parasympathetic response, and help us all feel better. So I hope you have a great day, and try sleeping on your back if you're not already doing that. Have a good one, guys. Bye.